It is the Halo World Championship, and you cannot afford to leave your A game at home. Pool D is where our eyes are set now. These two teams, Rebellion and Cloud9, joined in Pool D with Native Gaming and Dark inside. One of these teams, has got to go, and the Desk have teed this one up perfectly. Cloud9 get to Game 5, never find the ice. Rebellion continue to get themselves into third place. What sort of form will these two be in?
Yeah, spicy takes, not spicy takes, medium takes, whatever it is, Cloud9 have an opportunity here to try and disrupt one of the top 3 teams from recent events. Shopify Rebellion have been the breakers of the top 3. They've been the ones that have really disrupted those big teams, tournament after tournament, to finally find themselves as one of the big squads in this tournament. But now, Cloud9, can they do something in this pool to say, actually, we're here to play?
Shields up, weapons hot, we're underway, we're on board with Sceptify, and he'll be looking to right some wrongs of the past and make sure they can find that ice.
Argyle CTF could be the perfect start for Cloud9. It's arguably Shopify Rebellion's worst capture the flag map, so maybe an opportunity to try and disrupt them in the early stages. I do want to keep an eye on Cykul. He's usually the guy who's putting up the damage for the side of Shopify, but Spector, he's already putting up the damage for his side of Cloud9.
And the complexion of Cloud9's tournament in Salt Lake City. Oh! Good, but not good enough. Taking the then champions to a Game 5, but coming unstuck. zMannny puts them in the lead, and they're starting this one off hot.
The speed of which they've just captured that flag is insane, and it was all down to the sniping as well, to be able to take that sniper, get the damage done, and Cloud9 are relentless with their aggression right now. Rebellion very much on the back foot.
Rebellion need to weather this storm. Suppressing the respawn screen, and Cloud9 have got a flag tossed out once more. This time though, zMannny gets cut down. Spector is out of sniper rifle ammo now, so his impact on the map should now dissipate just a touch. Mental soars forward, killing spree for Spector, and he might not be done yet as he looks towards Suppress, but ultimately gets back down.
Does get the help though to ensure that that player just gets eliminated from the map. SoulSnipe's gone down. But this is such a good opportunity for now Cloud9. They can actually sit on this 1-0 lead. I mean, 10 minutes to try and sit on it is going to be difficult, so you kind of sit back, you wait for Shopify Rebellion to push, and then you hit the counter as soon as you get some of those sneaky kills. Wait around those corners, play a little bit ratty, use this lead to your advantage.
Cykul's got the long scope. Playing a little bit of defense for now, and with good reason, because Cloud9 have been that good. They've applied so much pressure, and Sab's there again, just to try and squeeze and make this difficult for him. Settling for the trade. No, Sab gets the kill, as does zMannny elsewhere. Cloud9 are not interested in giving Rebellion an opportunity to grow into this series. They're trying to hit them hard and hit them fast.
Mental, who we saw an incredible unlocked episode about his journey into Halo Infinite and how he would love to find a world championship. And it would all start today on Friday with a good pool play performance from Shopify Rebellion, similarly to what we've seen so far this year. Their consistency has been unreal. But it's all been about that championship Sunday for Shopify Rebellion, where they really haven't been able to match those teams and the experience they've been going up against, but they have been getting better and better as each tournament goes on. Can this be the tournament where Shopify Rebellion finally find themselves in a grand final?
They had the flag out. Sab just doing perfect work there, picking up a double kill and making sure that flag does not progress past the halfway point. Expertly done by him. That's going to be in SoulSnipes in the world of hurt. The two players combined to make sure he's cleared out in the base. This is good from C9.
This is great from C9. I think Shopify Rebellion may be surprised by the speed of which Cloud9 came out of the blocks. And now you've got to try and slow them down. Mental with a sniper is going to be a good way to do so. Cloud9 probably going to be running with their tails between their legs right now, because once Mental gets let loose with that sniper, we know what he can do.
Will he be wall bouncing left and right, hitting these shots? One thing we noticed from the Unlocked episode, Dan, is while all of his players and his teammates were using some colorful language, you will say, to his opponents, he stayed seated. It is almost like the expectation was always going to be that he would win the series, that he would pop off. And he puts the Spector in the grave once more and scoops up a grapple as well. Sniper rifle now completely out of ammunition. Sab's over towards the vent. Mental's getting close to him. 3 shots in, both combined, both trade.
Suppressed is going to be able to pull that flag, and Cykul, player I was saying we need to keep an eye out for, and the amount of damage that he can put down. Usually averages around 12 kills per game here on Argyle CTF. Sadly, whiffs that one though, so not an extra kill, but he is able to at least let them know he's there, so now they have to take a new angle with this sniper being in that position. Flag almost home, but not quite yet.
Flag almost home, but not holes just yet. Players starting to fall, 3 dead for Rebellion, and perhaps risked a little bit too much there. And now they're spawning back base, and that's exactly where Sab and co want them. SoulSnipe's in trouble, and he recognizes this. Tries to head towards the grapple. Svspector gets the kill. This flag's pushing forward now. Sceptify is being pressured from across the map, but his shields remain untouched for now. As he looks over towards the pistol side now. Anybody from Rebellion in position to stop this flag? The answer is yes, 3 players exactly. And he has to wait for his teammates to spawn back up and help him.
It's a firing squad waiting for him if he wants to put this flag in, so Sceptify playing this one very well, just keeps touching it, is waiting for a little bit of support, waiting for a bit of help. But it looks like there's going to be just a great pinch here from Shopify Rebellion.
Beautiful backstab by SoulSnipe. Ensures this flag is not going to be getting punched in too easily. Sab goes to touch it. He's got hands on. Where are Rebellion? Where have they gone? The answer is it doesn't matter. The score now 2-0.
Cloud9 taking this advantage that I mentioned at the start of this game, where Rebellion just haven't really been able to find success at times on Argyle CTF throughout this year. I think they can get a little bit bogged down sometimes with trying to control the map a little bit too much and just let those flags slip through their fingers just in one quick counter cap. And now Cloud9, 6 minutes left, 2-0 up. You shouldn't throw this away. If you are a team in the Halo World Championship that has aspirations of getting to the latter stages of the tournament, you win this map.
And you've seen last event, Cloud9 put themselves in really good positions time and time again. But when they got there, they almost changed the strategy. They were afraid. It was like they got nosebleeds because they hadn't been that high before. Have they learned from the mistakes of the past? Is this the moment now where you start to really apply pressure to those big teams? You take the series here, you take the series lead at least, and you really apply pressure, because right now they're catching Rebellion flat-footed.
Almost a triple kill for Mental. We'll be able to at least communicate where that final player is, and now there's going to be 2 on spawn. Rebellion need to up the ante, and they need to do it fast. You don't want to give Cloud9 too much time here just to kind of pick and choose where they want to be. Is Mental off the map and out of the equation. Cloud9 can once again just focus on defending it.
You mentioned up in the ante. One of the chips that Mental had was that sniper rifle. He's thrown it off the map, not choosing to put it on the table. For good reason. Players like Svspector can really punish you if you put that weapon in his hands. As he pushes forward now, you can see the strategy has altered just a touch. Perhaps Cloud9 happy to hold what they have. They've worked hard for it after all. But will that then open the door just a touch for Rebellion to sneak their way in? Because you know if they capture one flag, the confidence, and all of a sudden the momentum starts to shift.
5 minutes remaining.
It's going to be 3 dead on the side of Rebellion, and Cloud9 are looking to try and finish this off here and now. By the looks of it, Sab's going to be running this flag. And they say, actually, we've got a brilliant opportunity at making this just a quick, easy 3-0. Rebellion need to try and respond off spawn.
Sceptify with that sniper rifle has a grapple as well, so if the flag gets close, he might be able to grapple it towards him and make a lot of progress very quickly. Sceptify rips the skull of Suppressed. He hears players underneath him. He's looking towards the enemy vent, but no player positioned there right now. SoulSnipe gets close, shield gets popped, and he just doesn't have the arms big enough. He's got those T-Rex reach.
Rebellion have done enough at least to return that flag and keep it alive. 4:20 left on the clock. Svspector has a sniper rifle, but just can't quite find those body shots to really secure these kills, clean up these Shopify Rebellion players. And if they do stay alive, if they do get away, they're going to start to pressure your base. This game isn't over. We've seen Cloud9 in these spots, and they have thrown away games, as you mentioned, against the more experienced teams. We're going to learn a lot in these next 4 minutes.
4 minutes long enough for this script to change. There's still time for alterations. SoulSnipe and Suppressed are pushing forward into the base. SoulSnipe has got that quantum translocator, and he's used it to get straight back into the vent, and he has the cover and the safety now. He can go back in and get a flag touch if he needs to. That portal goes both ways, but Sceptify shuts him down.
Oh, shuts down one, but Cykul just able to stay alive for the next. Flag is going to go back. 3 minutes 30. Rebellion, again, they need to start moving. Someone needs to start thinking about trying to get behind enemy lines and see if you can get a flag on the pull. It's not going to be the perfect setup. I think it's going to have to be scrappy now if you're Rebellion and trying to get one here.
They have made progress. You see Cloud9, they're in a lot of unorthodox positions, making it really difficult for Rebellion to make progress here. They're having to fight for every inch. ZMannny so locked, so dialed right now, put a bullet in his own teammate. But all of a sudden, the Slays have gone against him. Spspector's the last man alive over towards that glass on the snipe side. He's trying to make this difficult. He's trying to put damage down for his teammates. Cykul down to no shields. He has done a decent enough job here to stop this one in its tracks for now, at least.
This is a desperate last attempt at trying to get a pull, but all four dead on the side of Rebellion, and Cloud9 holds so successfully. That one player staying alive, doing enough damage to Cykul that he couldn't cross with the flag, was so detrimental to Rebellion's chances here. And now with 2 minutes 30 left on the clock, time is running out. Cloud9 don't need to get overzealous. They genuinely can just sit back here. There is no need to look for a third flag right now.
It's about whether they want to push forward and have these fights a little further up the map, so that way, if they do fall, Rebellion aren't on their doorstep immediately. Do they try and take those engagements a little further up the map? Do they get a little bit adventurous? Do they play with a little bit more courage and bravery? They're doing this expertly right now. Rebellion are in trouble. They have them on the ropes with 2 minutes on the clock.
I like this from Cloud9. They're being very patient, waiting in their screens, waiting for the push to come through. zMannny, of course, starting to think about the sniper rifle, which has exposed him slightly, and now Rebellion will get 2 dead. So this is going to be Rebellion's chance to get a flag pull, if any. But again, that's just going to be the one flag. They need back-to-back flags here.
Spress got hands on. He's picked up a couple of plasma grenades on his way. Sceptify's in front of him. He's also got a player at his back. He's in big trouble here, is Suppressed. Ultimately gets taken down from a combination of 3 members of Cloud9. 3 dead for a moment. Mental, the last man standing. He's soaring towards Sceptify. Appears to have a sniper rifle in his hands as well. He needs to start hitting shots. He needs to start going big, because they're almost down to within a minute of this game ending in Cloud9's favor.
Yeah, Cloud9 again could just back off, watch their lanes here, watch their angles, and frustrate Shopify Rebellion that little bit further to get them that one step closer to victory here in this first map. It looks all but guaranteed at this point. Just not enough time, really, for Shopify Rebellion to try and get back-to-back flags. Argo, a very difficult map to try and do so. You have to just control so much of it to be able to do that.
Cloud9 have been in complete control for large portions of this game. Every time Rebellion have pushed forward, they just really haven't gotten that flag over the halfway point. They've huffed and they've puffed, but they've been unable to blow the Cloud9 house down. And at the moment, they're sitting pretty with this 2-0 lead with 30 seconds left. It seems like a matter of time now before they're 1-0 to the good.
It is quite surprising, because a house of clouds, you would imagine,
it's quite easy
blow
to blow
over
down
pretty easily, but they've held strong.
Them rain clouds can be pretty heavy.
It has been fortified, this base of Cloud9, and Shopify Rebellion just have not been able to break through.
The windows have been well and truly boarded up. They're not interested in stepping outside. Suppressed on the staircase, has to back away towards his basement. Manages to, a little bit of help with mixed martial arts, clear out his base, and Cloud9 draw first blood. 1-0 to C9.
When I looked at the series layout, Argyle CTF, I was thinking this was going to be Cloud9's best opportunity at a victory. I don't think Rebellion will be too disheartened looking at what they've got coming up in the series layout. But what it does do for Cloud9 is give them that confidence going into the rest of it. We speak of Salt Lake City, you speak of the woes that Cloud9 had to go through after being so close to toppling the best team in the world. And sadly, they were unable to do so. And now, can they topple one of the top 4 squads in Rebellion here as we move over to Slayer Livefire as map number 2. But we can look back at some of the highlights. It was Cloud9 dominance, really. There was nothing from Rebellion that suggested they were going to win that game.
Yeah, they were never really in control. Cloud9, from the outset, that flag capture coming with barely 45 seconds played. That's how quickly they moved. Not interested in giving Rebellion the chance to warm up, to heat up. C9 came to play, and they've been rewarded for the aggression. They hold a 1-0 lead now. It's very easy for us to get bogged down in the woes, Dan, like you say, from Salt Lake City. Yes, they found themselves going out in those Slayers in gut-wrenching fashion. But there is that expression, you don't lose, you learn. Have they gone back and they looked at the drawing board? This is what the mistakes we made. Let's ensure we never do that again.
It could have been some of the most vital experience that they learned, that loss. Tasting loss after being so close to tasting victory might have just given them enough of an oomph going into this tournament to make sure they lock down games like that. Practice some Slayers some more, because we know teams don't like to practice Slayers as often because they feel like it's a little bit different. It's hard to replicate the tournament style. But maybe Cloud9 are just the real deal here at the Halo World Championship. Well, Slayer Livefire is going to be coming up. It's a very different story between Shopify and Cloud9. It is a far superior map in mode for Shopify Rebellion. And you can see just how much success they've had previously, but also their struggles and where they have arrived. Native, SSG, Optic Gaming have all been able to topple Shopify Rebellion.
And even before this, as we were teeing up the series at Desk, we were talking about Cloud9's woes in Slayers as well. The problems and the issues that they have had getting over that hump, winning that game 5. 2-6 in Slayers versus Rebellion's 5-2. There is a very stark contrast in the performances, and really it has to be said, there are 2 Slayers in every series. They are your bread and butter. They're the ones you have to get right.
And they are the #1 team on Live Fire Slayer or Shopify Rebellion with that 5-2 record. And one of the players that is the big reason is Suppressed. I remember actually in Salt Lake City, we were like, let's keep an eye on Suppressed when he's playing Live Fire Slayer, because he can start to pop off, and he went insane. He almost had the entire team on his back. And they're going to need him to step up to that kind of standard here in this map too, because they need to shut down Cloud9 quickly.
And they'll be doing some game 1 analysis when they go back, no doubt. And it's difficult for us, certainly, to point fingers at what exactly went wrong on that Argyle flag. What was the issues that arose that they need to tackle now in the VOD review? But one thing they know is they have got work to do, because Cloud9 completely outplayed them. And they'll be hoping to turn their fortunes around here in game 2.
Well, it was the hot start, wasn't it, from Cloud9 that I think really set the pace of that initial map 1. Can they do something similar here and get a really early lead, but Cykul denies Sceptify? Cloud9 do briefly have a lead, but it looks like Shopify Rebellion will even things up and now regain it themselves. And still haven't seen Camo grabbed yet, but it looks like Mental might be able to get hold of it.
Slayer on Live Fire. This is where it all happened. This is where it all went wrong. If you're a Cloud9 fan, you almost do not want to see this map mode combination. It's too painful to see. And for the players, they can be saying the same thing. A couple of them go down to no shields. This looks like clean up on aisle 5 for Mental, as he could be able to lock in a triple kill. Gets close to Sceptify, but the quantum translocator gets Sceptify out of dodge.
Backs off. Sadly, not able to stay alive. You only get out of dodge for a short while because Suppressed was there and waiting. 8-8. I think if you are Cloud9 here, you will definitely have those memories, the bad memories of this map and mode against SSG at Salt Lake City. But as you alluded to, I think you have to learn from that. You have to have practiced it, and you've got to make sure that if you are in that scenario or anywhere close to it again, you have a better game plan to ensure that you don't fall in that way.
Sceptify attempting to dipsy doodle. Shout out Strongside, who we recently found out is a father, so congratulations to him. He's been putting in reps for an upcoming Halo 2 land. So hoping the old dog still got it. Here looking at Sceptify with the sniper rifle. No more ammunition to play with. Manny down to no shields. And he's taken care of as well. So a 3-kill deficit for Cloud9 to claw back at. And Rebellion now just starting to get in the ascendancy. A little bit of map control with the camouflage to pop up in 25 seconds.
This is the lead that Rebellion were searching for. They're far more comfortable when they do have a little bit of control, not just of the map, but of the game. Less to worry about trying to break your way back in, as that repulse will just send 3 members of Cloud9 back. So much information gathered there by Cykul, and then the collapse comes through. Mental was just there and waiting, locked in to secure those kills.
Mental sliding in tandem with his teammate then. Sceptify over towards Nest. SoulSnipe's got that camouflage. Waiting for information. What's the best play to make here? Caught between a rock and a hard place. The hard place right now is Manny. Manny takes care of business. Camouflage now completely negated. No longer an issue. No longer a concern. 4 kills now for Cloud9 to claw back at. And with Rebellion spawning over towards green, a real opportunity for a collapse. But 3 members push big door. Perfect execution from Rebellion.
Yeah, Rebellion doing very well to isolate targets at the moment. And as soon as they have the numbers advantage, they are very relentless with their pushing. They don't really give Cloud9 the chance to think and plan accordingly. But they've noticed one player is going to be over towards tower, and that tower player does not survive for very long. They eliminate him instantly.
The sniper rifle hadn't even hit the floor, and it was already in the hands of Mental. Fortunately for him, he was cut down before he could get cooking with it. It's passed straight back over to Sab. He holds tower, and right now he holds a lot of the map for his team, ensuring a lot of these lanes are clear, and if anybody does pop up, they'll have the shields or the face ripped from right under them. Manny's position top middle, as is Sceptify. So they're looking to hatch a plan of some description. 2 members of Rebellion over towards green. Now Sab has not seen that player cross over towards Nest, so he could be an issue and a thorn in the side if they're not careful. They're starting to engage now over towards the camouflage side. Cykul is still positioned there, hoping to maybe catch Sab off guard if he drops off this bridge. There's trouble afoot, but Sab just doesn't know it. His shields gets ripped down to half. That's good enough for him to know that there's a lot of contention over that side, and perhaps he needs to explore different avenues. He's doing so now. Cykul and Mental combined, almost as though Sab expected that kill to go his way. He slid past it. All four dead. Cloud9 only get one from that push.
The shields were up, but the weapon was not hot, sadly. Couldn't do anything with it. And now Shopify Rebellion, they regain that quite significant lead now. They're up by 8. For Cloud9, they just have to ensure that they get some trades in when they can't afford to go all 4 down in such an easy way, really. It was a good attempt at a push. I like that they had a plan, but sadly, Rebellion were more than aware of it. Cloud9, if they're going to get back into this one, they need an all 4 dead that's a flawless run as well. They need a coordinated attack. I was going to say maybe that's going to be the one, but SoulSnipe was able to get the trade.
I think the issue you have is you do have some woes on Slayer. You don't want to be playing the best team in the league. They will punish you anytime that you give them an opportunity to. Sceptify slides forward with no shield straight into suppressed bandit rifle. Camouflage has been scooped up by Svspector and he hasn't been spotted out here. Gets the shields down, gets the kill as well. Cykul's gonna get close. Information was passed across, his shields go down, and ultimately he has to put it into reverse. He remains top middle. Svspector just patrolling like a Terminator. Getting kills, doing damage, downloading information for his team and passing it over.
Surely heard the grunts of the Spartan there, and he did, so that's going to be another kill secured, and now they're only down by 4 here, Cloud9. This is a great passage of play, and a lot of it coming from the camouflage from Svspector. zMannny picks up another one. Now they're down by 3. And suddenly it's just 2, so Cloud9 may be learning from what happened to them in Salt Lake City and saying, look, we're not down and out until it is officially over. And they are right back into this one now.
Svspector, 14, 4, and 8. He really has been the Terminator on the map. zMannny with that sniper rifle. He's been on live fire and he's had the game in his hands before. Can he turn his team's fortunes around here? Currently sitting at 11, 5, and 11. Consistent, good for now, but they need more from the team. Specifically from Sceptify, who seems to be struggling right now. Perhaps he needs to alter his game plan. Play a little bit differently, but right now it's a 1-kill game, and Cloud9 have got themselves right back into this Slayer.
I think another surprise is Suppress going -5 at the moment. 13 deaths. He often tries to be the player that kind of flanks around and can be that pivot point for the team to pick up damage. He's been caught off guard a couple of times, and there's just maybe one too many that's allowed Cloud9 to stay in this game. And perhaps Rebellion, with the lead that they did have, they were perhaps a little bit overconfident. They still are up by 3, so they don't have to worry too much just yet, and a big kill there coming out of SoulSnipe.
And he pushes forward. Thought he got a trade, thought it was good for one, but it wasn't. Only 2 shots in the melee, not enough to get the kill. So now, 3 kills. On board with Suppressed. As he pushed into the house now. Sceptify and zMannny are combining together here. Suppressed takes care of one with a fresh 5 shots. Camouflage now popped up. It's in the chest of Sab. He needs to get away and he needs to have an influence on these next few engagements because they're running out of kills.
Yeah, you'd imagine a 5-kill lead, making a 4-kill lead at this stage of the game should be enough for Rebellion, but we've seen crazier things happen. Suppressed just needs to stay alive. You need to play your life smart here because your teammates are going down. Cloud9 are having a bloody good go at this one. It's going to be another kill, you'd imagine, 47-45. Rebellion just need to be careful here. They are giving far too many opportunities to Cloud9 to actually wrap around them.
Cloud9 chased the length and breadth of live fire to get that kill over by scoreboard. Now within 2, 3 members now pushing towards sandbags. Little do they know, 3 members of Rebellion towards scoreboard. Sab has missed them all. They've leaked through the cracks here. This could spell peril if they're not too careful. All 4 members in house now. Suppress gets 1. It's traded out. Sab's in trouble. Uses the quantum translocator to get out and re-engage. SoulSnipe's down to no shields. A lot of damage has been done here, but nobody's capitalizing on it. Sab's down to no shields, no half shields, excuse me. So nervous, in fact, that he backs away from that kill, knowing the next couple of kills are going to be too important. And it comes the way of Rebellion. Too slow for Cloud9, and the series score 1-1.
Good save there, but yeah,
Thank you.
1-1. Could have been worse, but Cloud9, they just couldn't find them. I think you were right. They were trying to scout out where those players might be. And even though you have the QT to try and redirect yourself, there were so many players on one shot there, but everyone was baiting and switching so successfully from the side of Rebellion, making it almost near impossible for Cloud9 to actually pick up those kills. And sadly for Cloud9, despite their valiant efforts to fight their way, claw their way back into their game, they weren't able to do anything with it. And it is going to be 1-1 after the 2, and a chance, of course, for the players to take a little bathroom break.
So Cloud9 Slayer woes continue, at least for now. And for Rebellion, this is what they do, Dan. Even if they lose that initial objective game type, that game 1, games 2 and 5, more often than not, swing their way. Cloud9 have got to find a way to disrupt this team. Game 1 was perfect, it was flawless almost. Game 2 a little less so.
Shopify Rebellion will continue their map record on live fire, and it is just going to be one of those scenarios where they keep getting better and better, and they keep being the #1 team. And you saw the stats before, even though they had an incredible Slayer record against the bigger teams, they had struggled a little bit, and they had lost a few Slayers, so being able to secure that one is going to do wonders for their confidence as well. For Cloud9, however, it is just live fire woes yet again. And if they are going to win this series, you imagine they are going to have to get a Slayer at some point. But they could get it done in 3 objectives. So I guess they don't have to play another Slayer. Maybe they'd be happier if they didn't play said Slayer.
Well, I guess what we have on the horizon is going to be an objective game. Like we've got Streets Oddball, and I know you've always got some valuable information that can tip the scales one way or another. You're pretty good at telling us what way to expect it to go, and confirmation of what you've seen on the series layout. 2-0 Argyle CTF went Cloud9's way. It was smooth sailing. Game 2 though, 50-46. They came undone. Oddball Streets then on the horizon, Dan. What have you got for me?
Oddball Streets is another one of Shopify Rebellion's best maps and modes. They are 5-1 on it throughout the entire season. And I think my highlight player is going to have to be Cykul. He has the highest KD across the entirety of Oddball in the league. So he's going to be the main man, and you need to shut him down if you're Cloud9. But you could argue they will be the most important players on the map, even if they do it quietly and go about their business.
And we can talk about this, the Cloud9 story. They found themselves in the opens having to do it the hard way more often than not. And now they find themselves starting to rub shoulders with the teams that perhaps they expected to be against all along. But they finally start to find that form and be competitive in the big series. And we're seeing it here again against Rebellion.
Yeah, and I think that Cloud9 had that really hot start in Argyle CTF. And sure, you could have it again here in Streets Oddball, but then you are going to finish and go up a round, and then the round completely restarts. And that does kind of take that momentum away from you a little bit. Very different to old school Halo Oddball, where it would just be a straight 250, for example. So I think that Cloud9 need to be continuing to focus on their starts, but also accept the fact that once they've got that first round, if they are to get it, keep hitting Shopify hard at the start of that game and try and take the early lead.
And how often do we see it in Oddball where you win a close round 1 and you almost exhale a little bit and you settle into a groove, you think you've got the job done, but all of a sudden now it's 1-1. You've let the guard slip a little bit too much and you almost rest on your laurels. They can't afford to do that either. Cloud9 have got to come correct here, because Rebellion will not give you too many mistakes, will not give you too many errors. You've got to capitalize and you've got to punish.
There will be some teams who very much prefer to start on the tower side with their spawn, but Cloud9 say it doesn't matter where we spawn, and they've actually got the upper hand here in the early stages and will get the ball time to begin with. So Sceptify now trying to be sneaky, but it was like Mental smelled him on the stairs, but it doesn't matter. He's still able to get the kill.
Always apply your deodorant, particularly when you're in the conventions, because you can see you can get sniffed out. They can punish it. zMannny then, with the camouflage down to no shields, prioritizes staying alive. I like this play from him. As he pushes now over towards the arcade. Mental throwing down grenades. Those camo eyes just spot him out. That stalk rifle doing so much damage. You know, zManny's disappointed with that, but sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Once you get spotted, you're afraid to shoot because you can see him looking at you, but you don't want to confirm it's you.
It's another hot start for Cloud9 though, and I think that's the biggest takeaway so far in this series is their starting strategies have been superb. And Rebellion maybe need to take note of that. Not if just for this series, but future series that may arrive, because you've got to remember this is pool play. There is still a chance that both of these teams could end up competing later on down the line in the tournament, in the championship bracket. But We'll have to see whether that comes to fruition, as zMannny might be the last alive, but he is still getting ball time, but just can't quite get around that corner. That would have been huge, actually, if he had got around the corner, extra little bit of time, just delaying Shopify Rebellion.
And you could tell he paused for a second, knowing that as soon as he crossed that threshold, there's a lot of pain coming his way. Ball has now transferred. Camouflage is about to pop up bottom middle as well. That's going to be a point of contention very soon. zManny seems to be there or thereabouts, waiting for the slide to push forward. He executes on it. The shroud screen comes in to cover his escape as well. Expertly done from Cloud9.
Whammy. Mental taken down, and now Shopify Rebellion may still have the ball, but they are about to be hunted. Cykul falls as well. Cloud9 are doing very well to communicate where these players are, because actually Rebellion in a few sporadic positions, they're kind of on their own at times, and Cloud9 are picking them off one by one.
A lot of grenades coming zManny's way. As he tiptoes his way on that railings, keeping himself just about out of harm's way. Cycle over towards caution, gets the kill, stays alive. Cloud9 still have the ball. And Spector's got the stalk rifle. He's got to put it to work, puts a shot down, missed the second one, doesn't get the melee. And now the opening. Stalk rifle transfers hands. You know, you put power weapons in the hands of any of these Rebellion players, they'll punish you. Fortunately though, zManny was there to cut him down, and now it transfers once again. This stalker rifle weapon is cursed right now.
No one can hold it for any longer than a few seconds, it would seem. For Cloud9, considering that their win rate is only 50% on this map in mode, they are really going toe-to-toe with Shopify Rebellion, who have one of the best records on Streets Oddball. And again, it's been about that pace right from the very beginning. Shopify Rebellion have not had that time to reconsider about positioning. They've not had any time to think about any planning or any ball setup. Cloud9 are always in their face at the moment, and it seems to be to the detriment of Rebellion. Maybe that's their kryptonite, is just a little bit of pace at times. When you look at the Cloud9 roster, I mean, there are players who certainly know how to play at speed.
Sab now has got that cursed stalker rifle in his hands. I can't carry it, Mr. Frodo, but I can carry you, and perhaps that's what the stalker rifle is right now. It is just a ring. And it's doing damage, it's going to work. Sab puts down more damage. Pushing forward, getting in the face of SoulSnipe. zManny was there to help his teammate back away. There is an option now, an opportunity to get more ball time. 3 dead, camouflage pops up. It's in the chest of Spector. All things looking good for Cloud9, except for that little backstab from Suppressed, who managed to get the ball carrier down. And if he throws this out, that is well played from Suppressed.
Yeah, that's really good from him. At least that will stop any bleeding here. But again, it's another camouflage going in favor of Cloud9. Spector just about stays alive, but sadly he was called out. I think Rebellion need to do better for these camos. They can't allow Cloud9 to be escaping with them so comfortably. Still, a long ways to go yet for Cloud9. They still have to put 30+ seconds on the board.
Time continues to dwindle if you're a Rebellion fan. Score ascending towards that 100-point threshold that Cloud9 need to secure that round. Suppressed, get a couple of shots to his shields. zManny though in trouble. Is he going to try and play this ball? Takes the fight with SoulSnipe, wins it against his former teammate. Trying to make himself really difficult. You know he wanted to try and get a melee or a ninja there, but Cykul and Suppressed combine. They're throwing fists, they're throwing hands, and they're putting people in the dirt.
Cloud9 were doing very well at protecting the ball as well. As soon as a player goes down, they just say, okay, let's focus on damage and let's focus on delaying Shopify as much as possible so that we can get closer to spawning as a full 4, and then we can actually break. It just means you really are stopping that bleeding and not allowing too much time to go into the hands of Shopify. Still a 37-point lead, and it's going to be ticking here because Sceptify's been able to sneak in, grab that ball. Cloud9, they're still scoring.
All of his teammates have fallen. All his friends are dead. Ball's been tossed out towards the garbage. It's down in no man's land for now. It has eventually been scooped up. Camouflage is about to be an influence once more, and it's Cloud9 who are in prime position to pick it up. Rebellion have put so much resources into stopping the ball. They haven't got enough map to really contest this camouflage now, and that could be their undoing. A win condition could very quickly be going their way. Mental continues to fire down shots. Sceptify gets a kill. That means this push is going to be a lot more easy. Sceptify with the force push. throws another player back. Spspector's got another camouflage. SoulSnipe's in big trouble. He falls. They only need 14 more
I'm
seconds.
shaking my head because it's another camouflage. It's too easy. The timing has been on point for Cloud9, and they just need 7 more seconds. And Rebellion maybe have one more push, but I think it's going to be too slow. And Cloud9 should be taking the round here and will be taking the first round here on Oddball Street. So despite it being one of Rebellion's best, Cloud9 have showed they are very much here to play.
Round 1 in the bag. We engage once more. You spoke about it, Dan, how important it was going to be for Cloud9 if they do get that round 1. Closing out the game. Do not allow Rebellion a chance. Do not leave that door open. Slam it shut. Stalker rifle for SoulSnipe. He's in arcade. He slides forward. Spspector's going to engage with him. He's not afraid of the stalker rifle because he has the shield advantage. Shab was there to cut off the angle as well. Stalker rifle falls. Camouflage now in 3 seconds. It's been a one-way story for Cloud9. Getting those power weapons, and those power-ups. Suppressed out the nose shields, gets quite a lot of damage onto Spspector, but not enough to pop his shields. And here is that opportunity for the camouflage. A little bit of nade damage for Spspector. He's forced to back away.
So the downside, comparatively to Argyle CTF, Cloud9 cannot just sit on this lead now. Yes, they're up by 1, but they have to continue to be playing at the same kind of pace, which has really been disrupting the chances of Rebellion. For Rebellion, they need to start assessing why things are going wrong. How Cloud9 are A, getting these much camouflages. They've already been able to make sure they rectify that here in this game and say, look, we've got the first camo on the board. We know what the timing is. We know we are in the position to grab the next one. And they just need to ensure that this happens over and over again. Do not give them freely to Cloud9.
Mental continues to play sneaky. Calling out that player. Pick up the bulldog. Go on. Do it.
Enemy has the ball.
Do it.
He decides not to.
Enemy has the ball.
Do you think you would be a legend or enemy of the state if you picked up a bulldog at any point during the Halo World Championship?
I think it could really go either way, depending on the fan base. I like to think we're people of honor, but sometimes the devil on your shoulder wins.
Yeah, ¿por qué no los dos? Why not both? You can be a legend and an enemy.
You will be a legend to some and an enemy to others. That much is for sure. 4 dead now for Cloud9. And Mental is being an enemy to the C9 players as it stands. Shroud screen goes down. Mental will get the camouflage. Will just... Nope. Shut down. Camouflage down as well. Front tower. Does zMannny and co have that information? It's only him and Spspector on the map now for his team. SoulSnipe's got the camouflage. He's lost a little bit of shields thanks to some grenades. Prioritizing staying alive right now, and with good reason. The Cykul and Suppress have hit the respawn screen. He has got to make himself a very difficult kill, and if he can get any kills on the way out, yes he does. This is good for SoulSnipe. But Cloud9 have the ball, and they're starting to eat away at that lead. Mental falls, killing spree, perfect kill, and double kill for Sceptify. A lot of damage being done. Speaking of, stock rifle for Cykul.
Enemy has the ball.
Rebellion are definitely doing well at prioritizing that camouflage. I think there are teams you can play against where the camo... Oh my goodness gracious. There are times when you can allow the camo to go into your enemy's hands and you can still be dominating with map control. You can kind of sniff out the camo and it doesn't really play too much of a factor against some of the lesser teams perhaps, but Cloud9 have not been a lesser team. They have very much matched Shopify Rebellion stride for stride here and are 1 round away from taking the lead yet again in this series. But Rebellion are a top 3 team for a reason. They know how to get back into these games.
Enemy has the ball.
Stock rifle has got to have a big impact here. A lot of shots being fired. SoulSnipe's killed Sab, but Spspector needs to get himself involved in this fight somehow, some way. He's trying to. He gets towards tires, but unfortunately for him, SoulSnipe hits him with a Shoryuken and eliminates him from the equation. Shroud screen was down in the tire window as well. Ball over by the statue. Nobody interested in picking it up for now. 4 seconds, the point of difference for these 2 teams.
Yeah, Cloud9 have done well at not allowing Rebellion to kind of run away with this despite an early lead. Camouflage is going to be, again, the point of contention shortly. Maybe be a little bit of scrappy time here for Cykul, and it looks like he will be able to grab it because 3, make it 4 dead for Cloud9. This is perfect. You have the ball, camo's coming up. You should be able to get it if a spawner doesn't hit you with a nade. Yeah, he's dead. Never mind.
Not even. Camouflage wasn't picked up. As a matter of fact, he still had a repulsor that perhaps he wasn't aware was there. That means zMannny will capitalize on the error that was made. Ball will be played towards bottom middle, with good reason. They recognize they're in trouble. Suppressed, excuse me. Will take out zMannny with that camouflage. Suppressed again, double kill, pushes forward. Sab could be his latest victim. He's hitting shots, but Sab's ones are cleaner, tighter, kill secured for him. Sceptify will toss that ball towards Statue once more. Svspector now over towards PD. Sceptify back tower in the cubby and waiting for anybody to push by. And he's down to no shield. SoulSnipe hasn't got much more to play with. Cloud9 just about getting the better of these engagements right now. They picked up the ball, they're trying to close the gap. Currently sits at, well, quick math Dan, looking at almost 10, 12. I was waiting for the 8, it didn't come my way.
You're just hoping a tick was going to come through to make your life a little bit easier for the man.
That's always what I'm looking for.
It's 11 is what the number you're looking for right now. It still hasn't ticked over, just to let you know.
We'll keep a close eye on will that time tick over. Matter of fact, it's Rebellion who are pushing us further beyond that point.
You just want an even number.
Just get me back to 10, please. Don't make me do maths on the fly.
Well, Cloud9 have done very well at everyone kind of stepping up to the plate in terms of ball time. Even Svspector, who hadn't had much of it then, needed to get some scrappy time on the board just to keep it away from Rebellion. But now Rebellion have plucked that ball away at the perfect time, and they have really been able to get into a heavy setup here. Suppressed may be down, so Cloud9 is going to be pushing aggressively, but Mental doing that, not trading out, is massive for Rebellion here.
Really making themselves such a difficult kill. Cloud9 have got to be cautious here. They're throwing good money after bad, it seems. 2 players positioned over towards tower. It's going to be a brawl. Traded out. 3 go down for Cloud9. And again, another opportunity. Sceptify gets the kill and the camouflage. Will there be more from it, though? Can they get towards the ball and really eat away at this lead?
Enemy has the ball.
Just a quick touch. A little lick of the odd ball before he passes it off, and
That can't be good for you.
licking the odd ball.
Licking the odd ball.
Definitely a lot of germs on there
That's
if you
not
think about it. I don't know where that odd ball's been.
Part of a healthy, balanced diet, or unhealthy, unbalanced diet. One way or another, do not lick your oddballs.
Enemy has the ball.
Sceptify with the camouflage then. Still going to work. Now 60 points, climbing. 3 dead for Rebellion. Suppressed, waits for his teammate to spawn back up before he pushes forward. Wants a collective push. Seemed to be down to no shields over towards the steps, and you can see Sceptify desperately wanted to lock in that kill, and he was overzealous. He was punished for it. Now the push comes. The ball was played straight into the waitful, the watching hands of Suppressed. He caught it, dropped it immediately to make sure it wouldn't progress over that halfway point, and now they only need 8 more seconds. 2 dead for Cloud9. This one looks done. It looks dusted. Rebellion will tie us up here 1-1 in the odd ball, 1-1 in the series.
Yeah, this is far better, or was far better from Shopify Rebellion. And sadly, my thoughts became true from Cloud9. Yes, they had the hot start. Yes, they got that first round, but weren't able to double down here and allowed Shopify Rebellion just a little bit too much time to think. They weren't as quick in terms of moving into aggressive places, and they did give up those camouflages and allow Rebellion to have a far better time with them.
Have Cloud9 altered their strategy in this oddball, or have Rebellion simply figured them out? We're about to find out now in this round 3 which way it's going to go. Camouflage is going to pop up once more. Svspector's got the stalker rifle. He's been almost a turret at times. SoulSnipe down to no shields. That's enough damage for him. He probably doesn't need to push it. Lost a couple of teammates along the way. Cykul will just make himself a difficult kill. Somehow gets around that corner. 3 players were put to no shields by Svspector there. None of them were locked in. And now Rebellion are the benefactors.
And Suppressed might not have stepped up in the previous game, but he is certainly pulling his weight here in map number 3. 29 kills, 19 deaths. Plenty of damage for the assists as well. And not only that, but he's also been holding that ball, been doing a little bit of everything, has Suppressed, to ensure that Shopify Rebellion do not go down in this series. Cloud9 now are starting to get pinned back, and they are really struggling to stay alive. They're struggling to stay alive as a 4. I think that's what's important. Rebellion are keeping them on staggered spawns here.
Cloud9's got to fashion some sort of plan and execute on it. So otherwise, this game is going to get from bad to worse. Losing that round 2, it's really giving them an opportunity to get back into this game.
Well, Cloud9 are currently down by over 30 points. And this is when you really need someone to step up to the plate and make a call. This is a good chance to jump into a listen and see what Cloud9 is saying.
Nice.
Yeah, watch on the smoke,
Two back again. Camo 10.
Cycle, two guys backing on the smoke,
Nice, guys. Camo then.
One more cafe.
Camo's up. You might play for he's the last guy.
Get it? I think there's two up.
Nice on one.
Yeah, I can.
Watch out, man. Just
Nice.
Ivy still.
Watch your drive with me.
Play the same side.
Yeah, live.
Is it bird?
Yeah, can you look at me?
Ball dropped. Enemy has
Good drive, Jay. Drive weak, I think. I want Jay.
Yeah, be right. They're second. Yeah, go PD.
I'm dead too. NB.
One to mid.
Nice.
Good trade.
One's plants.
He has stock for arcade, I think. In arcade, I'm pretty sure.
No. He's like ice cream.
He's Bureau now.
Put it.
Pillars, back spill. Let me drop it.
He's.
Enemy halfway to
One tires, guys.
Ivy. Spikes. He's.
All tires on me. Shut him once. Tires.
Nice. You try throwing it out.
Rotate.
We need kills here. Heavy.
Nice job,
Top team. We need more kills.
Bottom C.
Ivy, guys, in Ivy.
Look at me.
I'm playing up.
Ivy weak. Ivy very weak. I'm on chat.
Watch out. Cykul.
Watch out, front T.
Nice.
Well, certainly plans did come to fruition there for Cloud9. They wanted to just break through and take that ball away from Rebellion. They did lose a player or two on the way, but they are able to stop that incredible setup we saw for a short while. It was a very effective push. Even though Cloud9 went all 4 dead at one point, they were still off spawn, able to break through.
And what we actually seen on the other side of things is the counter to Cloud9 setup. Rebellion pushing out, stacking that side of driveway, really executing it perfectly, breaking that setup wide open. You could recognize as soon as that push was lopsided, Cloud9 knew they were in trouble. They had 2 players positioned over that way, but 3 were coming their way. Simple numbers, you know what way that's going to shake out. And as a result now, Rebellion closing in on a round 2 victory.
Enemy team nearing victory.
Suppressor got camouflaged, he continues to jump and avoid damage. And you can see he was spotted out, but when you don't shoot, you just eliminate that opportunity to give any sort of aim assist.
Yeah, Cloud9 knew he was around somewhere. They heard it pop, but now he can pop it, lock it, and start to push because Cloud9, they've lost a couple of players. They're not going to be able to hold on to that ball, and Shopify are so close to taking this round and taking the entire map, taking a lead in the series.
2 down for Cloud9. And it could be about to be 2-1 down in the series if they're not too careful. They've got too few mistakes left in the chamber. Unfortunately, they're once again, Dan, on those staggered spawns. Rebellion have done such a great job of splitting them up, dividing and conquering. And that's been the story of this oddball. Shopify Rebellion win this game 2-1.
Despite the fact that Rebellion went down in that first round, again, another really hot start from Cloud9. Experience shines through yet again for Shopify Rebellion. And now for Cloud9, do they have anything left in the tank after such an incredible first map and first round here in map number 3? Maybe they put so much into it now, whereas Rebellion are starting to just find their footing here on the main stage. Because sometimes it can take a little bit of time to warm up on a Friday. Rebellion are now 1 map away from winning their 2nd match in pool play.
It's important to note, as you touch upon the pool, Pool D, these 2 teams share it with Dark Inside and Native Gaming. So you know both these teams heading into this series were 1-0. Native Gaming and indeed Dark Inside will be watching on here, waiting to see where their opportunity is going to come. And right now it looks as though it's going to be through Cloud9.
Certainly would love a stab at Cloud9 as well, but that's also worrying. If you look at, this pool is very difficult. If you look at Native and what they've been able to achieve, their growth as they've come through Halo Infinite, they're now going to go up against the Cloud9 roster, who you could argue have been doing the same, right? 2 teams who have been on the up and coming, have been able to disrupt some of those big teams, take maps off them, but just haven't quite gotten over that final hurdle. It's going to be the Halo World Championship pool play, where one of them is really going to have to step up if they want to be in a better scenario getting into that bracket.
And it's interesting that the narrative between the likes of Cloud9 and Native are somewhat intertwined, right? Because, matter of fact, SLC, we look back affectionately for Cloud9 because they almost eliminated Space Station Gaming, but ultimately their placement was top 12. And for Native Gaming, their placement was top 6. So you look at the records and on paper, it looks as though, well, they've had 2 star contrast tournaments, but as a matter of fact, Cloud9 were only undone because of the opponent that was put in front of them. They happened to run into SSG because the brackets had been upset. And now we look upon King of the Hill recharge, and Cloud9 desperately wanting to push this one to a game 5. Confirmation of what we've seen: Argyle flag, smooth sailing, 2-0, games 2 and 3, Slayer and Oddball going back the way of Rebellion as they take control of the series for the first time. Having a look at their records then, 6-2 versus 2-2. Very different, and you can say maybe that's perhaps because Rebellion make it to a Sunday because they play more series, they play this game type map mode combination a lot more. But Dan, what way do you see this one going?
Shopify Rebellion have been so good so far this year at this map and mode, so I'm expecting this to be a 3-1. I think that Cloud9 have been very valiant with their efforts, but this is now getting into Shopify Rebellion's comfort zone. Sure, we might see another hot start from Cloud9, and you can build from that, but again, it's almost another round-based map and mode. With it being King of the Hill, if it was Strongholds, maybe I would say, okay, an early start, you get a lead and you can start kind of sit on it, you can hold down those 2 Strongholds, but with King of the Hill, I worry for Cloud9 here, and I think Shopify Rebellion will show their class.
Perhaps that's the concern for Cloud9. They put in valiant performances, but nearly doesn't win the race, almost doesn't win the series. Can they change the narrative here? A hot start is called for. Perhaps the power weapon, getting that shock rifle, maybe the camouflage, giving yourself all the ingredients you need to cause the upset here. Because the expectation going into this series was that Rebellion should win this series. Cloud9 still have time to alter that here. They're down by 1, but you know they desperately want to get into that game 5 and change the narrative around their team that's been painted over the last couple of events.
Cloud9 had all 4 dead on the side of Rebellion, and you have camo and shock rifle, all the tools you need. You got hill time alongside it. Can you get that hot start? Can you take a 1 lead as well? But Shopify Rebellion have lost a player, so we'll get that one a reset. But
a decent start before the reset. Can they replicate that starting strategy? Can they get the camouflage and the shock rifle in the hands of zMannny once more?
Well, certainly one thing Cloud9 do know is that they seem to be the better team at securing those power-ups when they're on the map. So the camouflage, they should be expecting to get the higher percentage of them, but it's about putting them to use and being able to shut Shopify down and not allowing them to have those setups here in the hill.
zMannny gets a pick. Suppressed down to no shields. Camouflage no longer an issue, no longer a concern. zMannny gets close, tried desperately to get the melee. He just wasn't close enough. Sceptify is down to no shields. This is another good start for Cloud9. They have the hill again, only this time they don't have the shock rifle and they don't have the camouflage right where they might want to. Sab now has got the shock rifle. He's positioned top gold. He needs to start hitting some shots and frying some Spartans out of their boots.
Good early time for Cloud9. 3 are going to be dead, but the last remaining player is SoulSnipe, and he comes out of nowhere with an RKO. And that just means Cloud9 have to be aware of their surroundings, have to start looking for him, but SoulSnipe is on a tear, shuts down 3 members single-handedly for Rebellion, and may have just given them a chance here to try and get this first hill.
His snipe's pretty good, but his fists seem to be better right now. His SoulSnipe registered as lethal weapons, it would seem. Sab top tower will clear him out, so that means that Rebellion's progress will be halted for now. Sceptify is going to push over towards elevator. His teammate Sab is there, so they do have the control side of the map that they would like. They can push into pipes and drop a member down. If they do so, they will start to score. So you can see Suppressed and Cykul touch tight to one another, and as a result, they're going to be closed out, taken care of. SoulSnipe falls as well, so Rebellion now in trouble with Mental over towards that top catwalk, in between A and tower, not really in a position that he can really apply pressure to the person in the hill.
Do Rebellion try one more attempt at this one, or do they just give it up? I think the nades are going to dictate that, and the nades do secure the kill, so there is still going to be a push opportunity here for Rebellion. 3 dead on the side of Cloud9, but Svspector is still alive to be a thorn in the side.
Svspector, pivotal here then. Has 1 grenade to play with. It has got to be good. They've got players positioned over towards tower. SoulSnipe in trouble. Communication was good. Spectre made sure that kill got cleaned up. They've got to play this one expertly. All they need to do is break this one open, and they should be able to claim the hill. They step inside. Both players swing and a miss. Both have T-Rex arms. Cloud9 go down by 3. Sceptify, the last man standing. He's in a brawl with Cykul. He wins it, and he wins the hill for Cloud9.
Massive by Sceptify to ensure they get that first round on the board. And Cloud9, boy, did they need that if they want to stay alive in this series. Rebellion almost able to just pinch it right from under their nose. That's very important kills, and we've already seen several individual plays and winning moments here for different guys on these teams.
You never want to get pinched right under your nose, that much for sure.
It really hurt.
That sounds painful, I'm going to be honest. Spector then. Something that's going to be painful for him is losing this game, losing this series. They fought valiantly for the first hill and secured it. SoulSnipe pushes forward, Cykul meets the same end from Spector's bandit rifle, putting down damage. Players in the hill now. Suppressed is the last man inside tower now, so they have that information. He continues to apply pressure, and you can see Spector needs help. It comes the way from Sab. This is good from Cloud9. They continue to hold this blue side, but the pressure from Rebellion is relentless.
There's a lot of S's in this game, isn't there?
Really
Sab,
is.
Svspector, Sceptify, SoulSnipe, Suppressed, zMannny. They're all there.
That was good from you. We have fun around here. Here's Mental then. SoulSnipe gets the shock rifle, puts it to work. There's another S with shock rifle. We're being challenged all the time.
I do think if Cloud9 can take a 2-0 lead here, then Rebellion may struggle, because I mentioned, you know, we look back at that Argyle CTF where Cloud9 were able to sit on a lead, and even though it's a little bit more difficult to do it on King of the Hill, you can waste time, of course. You can take a 2 lead, and then you can start to really delay your opponent from getting in, from stepping in, and that clock starts to tick down in your advantage.
Sceptify goes down, as does Mental. Cykul will jiggle peek from the tower, Sabinator down to half shields. Sticky Grenade will find the forehead of SoulSnipe, so they're going to trade as well. It appears to be good news for Cloud9, but unfortunately they still haven't cleared out blue. They have now eventually taken control. Sceptify is there over towards double stacking. You can see Spector's not too comfortable with what might be coming tower side. So he asks his teammates to push over that side. This is going to be huge for Cloud9. If they can secure this hill, like you say, they can really start to dictate the pace of the game.
Big nades though, so Spector was going to be in a great position to try and deal damage that the rest of the team could maybe close in on, but now they are going to be down 2 versus 4. And just like previous, it is going to be a tight finish for this hill, but it looks like Rebellion are going to secure it and will tie things up 1-1. So that lead that Cloud9 fought so hard for, that individual play that they fought to get that first point on the board, it is all for nothing now as we're tied up.
This King of the Hill game really has been indicative of the series, just how close they are. Very little to separate them, coming down to just moments in time. A slay here, a camouflage there. We wouldn't have it any other way at the Halo World Championships. Mental over towards tower, waiting for teammates to make the call. He's going to cross over towards elevator now. Cycles on glass, shock rifle is up. Sab got the information, there's a player behind him. He gets the kill as well. You know he wants that shock rifle, tips over towards him, but gets plucked right out of the air.
Cykul just needs to be a little bit patient here. I don't want to see him give up this shock rifle. Sadly, it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. I think he really wanted to help his teammates, and sometimes that you're so desperate to get into the action because you can see your teammates struggling, but sometimes you just have to let them die. Yeah. I do it to Jersey all the time. I watch him run in, I sit back, I enjoy the death that comes through, and then I'll get the kills later.
I'm just going to stay silent because I'm feeling a lot of pain and a lot of energy towards one particular person right now, but I will not build upon that. Instead, I will be the bigger man and talk about the game at hand. Currently sits as though we're seeing a pattern emerge almost here. Cloud9 get really early success in the hill, then Rebellion break the setup, and the hill goes Rebellion's way. We're starting to see that now. Can Cloud9 flip that script? Can they change it? They're really push back here over towards tower. Nobody inside of the hill, which is good news for Cloud9 as far as I'm concerned. This means they're not making inroads into the lead that they've already built up. Sab's going to drop down, try and apply a couple of sticky grenades, not enough blue tack. And unfortunately for him, it's a swing and a miss. Kills keep going the way of Cloud9 for now, with the 2 dead for a moment apiece. Double kill for Mental, and that means SoulSnipe now in control of the hill, but only for now as Spector shuts him down. Could
this third hill be a definitive one? When you look at that clock, 1 minute 48 left. Cloud9 so close to etching another point onto the scoreboard. It's going to be one last push. Cykul gets taken down, but they are still holding it, and it is going to be 2-1 to Cloud9. Not much time left for Shopify Rebellion, but they are on spawn over towards the next hill.
I think Rebellion recognized the situation they were in and prioritized rotating towards blue instead, trying to control that. we know how difficult this one can be. And the thing about it is Cloud9 do not have to stand inside it. They can let Rebellion sit in blue. And as long as they don't have toes inside the hill, they'll be quite happy.
It's a dangerous one. Really tough, this one at blue, because if you do give it up, if you do just allow them to try and step in and then you take them out of it, if they get you all 4 dead, they can just amp up so much time, and then suddenly you're going into a 5th hill. But Cloud9 are doing well at the moment to keep them out. Rebellion, time not on their side, and they need to start thinking about getting a little bit of extra hill time right now.
They really need Mental to start doing some mental things. Camouflage has gone down. And there we go. Asked and answered, provided by Mental. Hits the face. Manny just about slides, maneuvers his hitbox down just a touch. And that will mean that the headshot that appeared to be on the cards will not be so. And again, Mental will hit the face onto Manny. He's hitting these shots, but time is dwindling down.
Yeah, they've still not been able to get into that hill. Cloud9 have done very well at surrounding the hill, picking them off one by one, and another was about to arrive, but Cykul comes to the rescue, and Cykul should be able to pick up a double, will do so, but 2 are down on either side, 35 seconds left, and Cloud9 very much still playing this clock.
Cloud9 in the driving seat, they have got control of blue. That means any single time a player from Rebellion step inside, they can do maximum damage without taking much. And that's why they've got to try and clear Sceptify out of here. They've done so successfully. Unfortunately though, they've lost a member along the way. Svspector comes up clutch and gets that kill, does damage. Manny the last man standing, and Rebellion have got toes inside the hill.
Yeah, this is where you need to work together here. You need to make sure someone stays in at all times if possible. Still 22 seconds to work with. Of course, the clock does stop as long as you have someone with a toe in it. It is ticking away. 2 are dead on the side of Rebellion. Cloud9 getting closer and closer to sending us to a game 5.
Svspector trying to get those sticks, will eventually land one, and you can see Cykul leans back in frustration. Sceptify steps out and takes control of blue once more. Time is dwindling down. Mental steps in. He's not facing the right direction. Cloud9 push us to a shootout. We're going to a game 5.
So impressive from Cloud9 to do that against Rebellion on that map in mode where they have found so much success throughout this entire season. Really does show how far Cloud9 have come as a team. Yes, they were eliminated at top 12 in Salt Lake City, but we know the full story. Had they come up against arguably any other team in that situation, they may have been progressing as far as top 6. Who knows, even top 4 with how they were playing and how good they looked, but they just couldn't get over that finish line. But now they will find themselves in a similar position, a game 5 Slayer, where they just couldn't get the job done. Yes, it's pool play, but it is still going to linger. It's going to still have those bad memories, that bad smell from the games against SSG.
Now you just put, you have to let it linger in my head, and I can't shake the lyrics. What I'm going to say, this is just indicative of how competitive it is at the Halo World Championships, at the HCS in general. You have a team that finished top 12, going toe-to-toe with a team that finished top 3 at the previous event. That's the magic of Halo, and that's why it's my favorite esport.
It's just so bloody beautiful to watch. And it's one of those scenarios where you never really know what's going to happen. How many times have we been at a World Championship and you look at a Friday roster and you say, all right, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, that's going to be another 3-0. Oh, let's just get to Saturday, forget pool play. Not today. We've already had game 5s. FaZe got taken all the way by Akavi Esports, by the Mexicans that have shown up so far this tournament. We saw ITB take down Pure 3-2 as well. And now we're getting another game 5 here between Shopify and Cloud9. If this is how good Fridays are going to be, just imagine how good it's going to be once we get to the weekend.
Yeah, somehow, some way, the teams that play each other only get better and better. The competition only gets tighter and tighter. And we're in game 5 now. Cloud9 versus Rebellion. Both these teams have trended upwards. The trajectory is on the rise. And for Cloud9, for only a few months ago, fighting in the open bracket, and now going toe-to-toe with a team that has made it to the winners finals and elimination finals time and time again.
And this is what you build for. This is what you train for all year long. The World Championship, when the prize pool is increased significantly, when the honor is increased significantly. And yes, you don't have to play through that open bracket. You have fought all year long so that you can be here at the World Championship. You want to make it count. You want to win these kind of series when you are given the opportunity. You're in a game 5 against a top 3 team here, again, for Cloud9, and it could do you wonders. You think about the implications of winning this game 5. you suddenly get the better seed. You suddenly are in that winner's bracket, essentially as third seed if you go on to win this pool. And that means instead of playing an SSG, instead of playing a FaZe Clan, you might be playing, I don't know, an ITB, a Quadrant, one of the teams that are in the top 6, a Complexity, for example, with a better opportunity of going through.
And how crazy is it, right? You go to a Halo World Championship, your whole season you might have been mediocre, average, you get top 12, top 8, top 12, top 8, and you make it to the World Championships, and if you get a top 6, a top 4, all of the rest of that season where you might have felt like you underperformed, it no longer matters.
No longer matters, and I think that's the scary thing, right? You could have worked so hard all year, you could have been winning LAN, you could have been getting top 3, but then suddenly you find yourself getting knocked out early, or you lose the pool play games, and it can all be forgotten in just one moment at a World Championship. Well, this is how the pools are looking so far. Everyone has played a single game, a single series of Halo, not just a single game. Optic and Sentinels lead Pool B at the moment, FaZe and Complexity, Shopify Rebellion and Cloud9 in Pool C, and Space Station and Into the Breach in Pool A. All kind of looking how it should in terms of seeding. I guess the biggest question was ITB versus Pure. How was that one going to go? And ITB able to win that one in a Game 5.
Yeah, that one was always going to be a coin flip, and of course, what we're talking about, what we have on the main stage, is a Game 5 in Pool C, Rebellion versus Cloud9, and this is really to get a chokehold on that pool. You want to try and get yourself the maximum seeding, get out on top, and then play against a team that you might perceive as a little bit weaker, give yourself an easier run going through Saturday, going through Sunday. Taking a look at the stats then, Map 2 Slayer, 50-46. It wasn't quite a nail-biter, but Cloud9 did enough where they could have won that game had they made a decision or two, and it gone a different way.
Cloud9 never got the lead. I think that was the important thing. Shopify always had control of the game, and constantly Cloud9 were trying to fight back, trying to battle back to get into it, and Rebellion were just able to keep them at arm's length. And Mental was one of the reasons why. I thought it was going to be the likes of Suppressed to step up, but Mental said, actually, I'm going to take this game on my back. Needs to do it again here in Game 5. It's going to be Aquarius Slayer, though. Very different from Live Fire. You don't have the kind of weapons to work with on Aquarius. It is going to be more about your bandit and less about a sniper, for example.
Pep talk, game plan for Cloud9. Their coach Sensor leads them back onto the stage to handle business. We have a little quarrel between these two teams that we have to settle. We need a winner, and it has got to be definitive, and we are going to get that. And with Aqua Slayer, Dan, like you say, it can all come down to your opening breaks sometimes. How you start can be truly how you finish on this game type. We've seen it end in a stake more often than not. We've seen the big teams fall to a stake at times. Sometimes, if things go against you, it can be hard to claw it back.
I mean, with how this series has been going, it's almost leading towards one of those tight finishes where it just comes down to a few kills, and if it does happen, will Cloud9 have those flashbacks from Salt Lake City where they had the lead, where they had the chance to beat a top 3 team, and they just let it slip right in those final moments? Well, the overshield is going to be very important, right? It's going to be a situation where you need to be focusing it here on Aquarius, and certainly the power-ups have been an advantage for Cloud9 so far this series.
It's those dang Slayers for Cloud9. We said it before the series, we're going to say it again. They lost game 2, so it's very much shaping up that Rebellion should take this game 5. But still time for Cloud9 to switch it up, to learn from the mistakes of the past. You've seen they had the pep talk, Dan. What do you think they were talking about? What do they need to do to finally ice up in those final moments?
They say, hey, you remember how it felt last time? When we were in this position against SSG and we threw it away? If you don't want to feel that again, step the hell up. Make sure that you are not nervous in those final moments. Believe in yourself. I mean, these guys are incredible and have the individual skill, but in those moments, they looked scared. They looked worried. They didn't want to make that play. Be the risk taker. It's pool play, so you have a little bit more wiggle room here. You go into this game and you believe you are the favorites. Don't think you're the underdogs.
Sometimes the fear is not wanting to make the play. More importantly, not wanting to be the one that makes the mistake and costs your team the victory. Like you say, it's pool play. If you do falter here, it is not too detrimental to the cause, but you know they want to take victory here. They want to change the narrative. They want to be the team that everyone is talking about. We're going to get some sort of finish this series here and now. We're underway. Overshield's been scooped up, and Svspector's got it.
Well, the shields are up, the weapons are hot, and there is extra shields on board for Cloud9 because that overshield has been taken into their own hands. And if they can continue dominating the overshield, if they can continue focusing it like they've done with the camouflages previously in this series, they could be in great stead to try and win this entire series. Spectre desperately tries to stay alive, but it is a good response from Rebellion. It's 4-4.
And I want to highlight Spectre, how important he was in game 2. 4,000 damage for his team, 17 kills. Pivotal for Cloud9 that when they put themselves in good positions, it's typically off the back of the good work that Spectre does. He is an absolute turret on the map. Put him in positions where he can do the damage. He's sitting P2 now. That's typically a good place to see results. Unfortunately for him, Cykul cuts him down.
If you're Sceptify and zMannny here, you need to be running. You need to be finding a way to get out of the potential pinch that's about to arrive here from Rebellion, but sadly they're not able to avoid it. But off the spawn, you can see Sab and Sceptify are able to get kills. SoulSnipe, though, gets a double. And at the moment, it is scrappy here, and I think that is good news for Cloud9. Make sure this stays scrappy.
You can see Spectre trying to get close to Sab. Does he just give this one up, recognizing that Sab perhaps was isolated by himself, give up the kill? That's something that Sab now has to recognize, that he's 1-4-4, been involved in a lot of gun engagements, but perhaps he needs to slow things down and stay with his team. Ensure they don't give away too many easy kills like that. SoulSnipe gets a double kill, and now we're all tied up. Make it a 1-kill lead for Shopify Rebellion.
Sab was temporarily the last remaining player there, and he is going to get called out as well. It's so frustrating when you get someone down to no shields, you're just not able to convert it, especially when you don't have any teammates alive to call out to. Your game just becomes survival and making sure you don't give away any extra kills. zMannny can't quite connect with the stick.
Back and forth we go. 2 kills separate us, and we'll continue to do so up until this overshield pops up. Last one was in the chest of Spector and in the hands of a Cloud9 member. So you know Rebellion wants to pick that up, and they can be the ones that can be the aggressors. They can push the pace and dictate what way this one's going to shake out. Overshield did go the way of Mental. He put a kill on the board. You know he wants to add to it, and he does. Triple kill, an unofficial triple kill for Mental. Spector answered back with 1, but all of a sudden Rebellion starting to really put distance between the two.
Yeah, if Rebellion can get on top of these overshields, Cloud9 may struggle. Just like what we saw in Live Fire, Rebellion having the lead, maintaining said lead. Cloud9 then have to go to the playbook. They have to look to try and break any sort of setup that's happening and try and scrap their way back into the game. A double from Sab is a way of scrapping your way back in, for sure.
Just like that, Sab went from 1-5-5 to 6-6-7, turning things around. That's what they need. The Cloud9 are going to see success in this Slayer. Again, important to note, Rebellion are the best Slayer team in the league. They're second to nobody. So the odds are already stacked against Cloud9 here. They've got to mind their P's and Q's. When opportunities present themselves, they've got to capitalize, they've got to execute, and do so flawlessly.
Sceptify gets an opener here, so Spectre follows up, and all the meanwhile, Suppressed is sitting back here. He's just watched all 3 of his teammates die, and that can be the downside sometimes of trying to play the anchor. He will guarantee the spawn over towards him, so at least they can all push together here, but this could be bad timing because Overshield's about to pop, and they are kind of on the back foot.
They all ascend of the P side. 2 members go that way, trying to contest this Overshield. zMannny soars forward, but unfortunately for him, zMannny men wish death on him. And he goes down. The Overshield remains top middle. It remains uncontested for now. Nobody able to get close to it. Sab is going to try to desperately, but unfortunately for him, down to no shields. Suppressed locks it in and locks in another kill for his team. We're still all tied up with that thruster pack. Locks in a double kill for Suppressed.
Suppressed just patiently waiting for Cloud9 to come to him at the moment, and it is going to be the Overshield in the end going in favor of Rebellion. But it's 27-27 and the Overshield depleted, and it's 28-28. So Cloud9, they were down. Shopify Rebellion were in control. But C9, every single time you think you've knocked them down, they get back up.
Incredible. These 2 teams have been firing at each other for all of about 6 minutes, but nothing to separate them. You get a kill, I get a kill. You get 2, I answer back with 2 more. And just like that, a 2-kill lead. But you know Cloud9 will dust themselves off, they'll go again, they'll look to tie this game up once more. Sab's in trouble though. Grenade sent towards SoulSnipe, but not enough to take away his shields or in fact do any damage at all. He makes himself a really difficult kill here on the front of the base, doing a lot of damage, trying to get a sticky grenade. Two members do avoid it. Mental soars in, and the Slays are going to favor Shopify Rebellion as 3 from C9 go down. Sab will answer back, but unfortunately for him, he's not long for this world. 4 kills now, 36 to 32, and Rebellion getting very close to that 50 kill threshold they need.
It's an incredible speed we're seeing this game played out. If this was 46 to 42, the game would be so much slower. People are far more fruitful with their deaths.
Frivolous.
They really are. They just throw them away. They get aggressive. They push because you are not at the business end of the game. And will you come to regret that a little bit later when, you know, 3 or 4 of those kills maybe could have not been against you had you played a little bit more cautious, maybe not taken such a big risk.
There is this crazy psychology when it comes to Halo, particularly in Slayers, that my death on minute 1 isn't as valuable as the death that I might have at minute 7 and 8. And as the game slowly chucks on, you need to lock in. As a matter of fact, if you do that from the start, you might not give up so many easy deaths. Another overshield for SoulSnipe as he looks to push his team forward, drag them forward, and ensure they have an unbeaten record in pools with a 2-0.
How many times do you hear no more deaths when it becomes
Just
around...
say that for minute 1, no more deaths.
Yeah, when it's around 45 kills, no more deaths, and everyone suddenly somehow stays alive. Just do it right from the start. There were several times here, players from both teams actually just threw their bodies toward players, maybe not caring about the deaths as much. But it is favoring Rebellion. Cloud9 down by 6. And boy, do they need a play call, as the game does eventually slow down here. All 4 members of Cloud9 looking to try and maybe collapse on any individuals of Rebellion. But again, the anchor is going to be there from Shopify to try and maybe pick up the pieces.
And you said if it was 46, 42, the game would slow down. Matter of fact, at 43, it slowed down. All of a sudden, players are starting to put a little bit more weight in their deaths, recognizing that the mistakes you make might cost you the game, and as a result, the series now. We're in a game 5, we're in the shootout, and at the moment, it's Rebellion who have put clear daylight between themselves and Cloud9. A thruster pack now for SoulSnipe. He has the option to change direction at a dime, and he does so to pop up, do some damage, just a little bit of poke damage and back away. Cykul gets a kill, they only need 2.
And they are going to start to push for our Rebellion. You can see they are surrounding Cloud9. This could be the last push of the game.
Here comes the pain, here comes the boom. Rebellion maintain. They are the best team at Slayers. They win game 5. 3-2 their score. They remain unbeaten in pools.
It's heartbreak again for Cloud9 though. Just can't get over that final hurdle when it comes to these game 5s. Surely, eventually, they're going to find a win, but will it be at this tournament, or will we start to look towards next year with how things have been? Couldn't do it to SSG, cannot do it to Shopify Rebellion. But what they can do is go toe-to-toe all the way, the entire distance with these top 3 teams. And that should bode well for Cloud9's chances, especially when you look at this pool. They're going to have to play against Native if they want to be starting from the winner's bracket.
Yeah, I really like what Cloud9 are doing. They can take confidence in the fact that they are taking these series to the distance. Yes, of course, you will look back with some point of contention. You'll think to yourself, if I had just made this decision, if I had just not died to that grenade, if I turned left instead of right, yes, these are the things that you will go back and analyze and overanalyze. You'll almost crucify yourself on it, but as a matter of fact, you need to know you're putting things together, you're doing the right things. The more reps you get, these results will come.